All right, look sharp. We're live, Frank.
This is as sharp as I look.
Well, that's all we really need, right?
I shaved yesterday, if that counts for anything.
Oh, you're not doing No Shave 2025 or whatever it is?
No.
I don't know if that's a thing. I think we can share it to our individual. Yeah, we can share it to our individual pages from Conversion Chemistry as well. It would help if these platforms ever did what we wanted them to do. Oh, there we go. Conversion Chemistry is live. Cool. So I'm going to share that to whatever. There we go. All right, cool. Yeah, that's kind of funny. And I'll actually get into this, a little preamble, just about, cross posting and sharing to drive traffic and engagement to various platforms is like the amount of people the amount of people I know and the amount of reach we have both in Conversion Chemistry and my own marketing agency is not exactly reflected upon my Facebook profile with my 600 something friends, which are all just people I pretty much just actually know in real life. Hey, we got Mr. William Mandelbaum checking in here. Good morning. Good morning. Member of Conversion Chemistry Pro.
Good morning, counselor.
I'm sure he'll have some some chirps to lay upon us here as we do this. So also, yeah, as more preamble to anybody watching live, please do feel free to post some comments and we'll do our best to address the questions as we go along here. With Conversion Chemistry, I do operate with full transparency is I'm still sort of a little new to StreamYard, using that as a live tool versus simply recording and then reposting. So just please bear with our delays as I manage to get through this and click around in some random spots. So we'll get right into it. The subject of today is driving traffic to your website. All right, it's a simple concept, but it's something that's absolutely necessary and needed if you're doing any sort of online selling, online marketing, digital presence awareness. These are 10 actionable strategies and tactics, not hacks. I don't like to say hacks because hack means it's like a cheat code, and I don't want to give the wrong impression that we're doing any type of black hat stuff here, even though I'm wearing a black hat. Black hat meaning that
You should have thought of that before you put the hat
on. Defying ethics and best practices. These are all tried and true and results-driven strategies. And one of the tenets we stand by at Conversion Chemistry is the hierarchy of marketing. Tactics and channels change all the time, every few years, sometimes monthly when new platforms come out. We're principles first, then strategy, then tactics, then platform-specific tricks and nuances. So we're going to give you 10 strategies that work. Some of these, it's kind of in order. All right, you have to have some prerequisites lined up before you even embark on this roadmap and this workshop here. You have to have, at bare minimum, a domain, a .com, a .net, a .xyz, a .only if you're in that sort of market. Even if you're using something as simple as Linktree to then just show where you're at online, you have to have your own domain, because otherwise everything else is on somebody else's platform and you're at the mercy of having that platform go away in any second. So your domain name, that's basically your address online on the internet. It's your calling card. It's your yellow pages. It's everything. So even simply, if you're not ready to have a full built out website yet, grab your Linktree and grab a really cheap domain name from, I always use NameSilo. I'm going to paste that into the comments here. NameSilo for $15 a year domain. You can't afford not to, and just simply point it to your Linktree. Next step up is having a website. I'm still going to always recommend WordPress and SiteGround.
Absolutely.
It's people have their opinions about WordPress and some go high level stuff's coming around that it's supposedly disrupting that, but WordPress is powering 40% of the internet. It's powering NASA.gov, WhiteHouse.gov. It is the most customizable platform out there. And when set up properly, the data is yours. If Wix goes away, if Squarespace goes away, Webflow, any of those, then your website's practically gone. WordPress, even if you're hosting it on somebody else or a third-party server, you can set up simple exports and that back it up in triplicate, and that website's yours. You own the data. And that's something that I always reflect back on. And I know, Frank, you're very passionate about that too, having been in internet and email marketing for pushing 30 years. The power of redundancy.
Absolutely, because you never know which drive's going to go, which company's going to go,
Yep.
Whatever. I've got, let's see, 3, 4, 5 external hard drives wired into my PC. You thought you had a lot of tabs open. I'll see you and raise you when it comes to externals.
Yeah, right. You have an external for every tab I've got open. We also got checking in our partner George Bruno, who he's watching but not participating this morning. But hopefully he'll chime in and give us some comments and questions here. All right, so let's get into it. We're gonna talk about the top 10 strategies. 90% of this is organic, meaning you theoretically don't have to pay for any external sources, advertising, paid media. This is all stuff that you or your team can implement yourself to drive traffic. One of the strategies is going to be paid media, but I've got a very specific formula that allows you to, it's basically retargeting on a massive budget to exponentially increase your visitors. So it's very, very simple. We're going to create share-worthy content. Let me get through some of these. I make these slides to keep myself on track, but then I always derail anyway.
I think that's a great, Jonesy, not to interrupt, that's a great point right there. Simply having a website doesn't mean that people will come to it. It's like throwing a party in the woods and you didn't give out any invitations and you're hoping people just show up.
Exactly. If you build it, they will not necessarily come.
No.
Kevin Costner was a lie. I can't back that up. But either way, yeah, if you build it, they will come. Stack them high and watch them fly. That doesn't work anymore. There's a lot of the barrier of entry to any of this digital marketing is extremely low, which I love. But it also means that everybody's on there. There's a lot of noise. When I say noise, I don't necessarily mean bad content, although that certainly is out in the ether. What I mean is that there's a lot of competition. And you, as the business owner, as the content producer, provider, need to really have your niche dialed in. You need to have a specific audience, and you need to have specific goals for these websites. So the 10 strategies we're going to share are creating amazing share-worthy content, sharing that content to social media, Frank's favorite, building and leveraging your email list. Number 4 is guest posting and collaborations. Number 5 is participating in online forums, chats, and groups, which is a little different and more nuanced than sharing content on social media, but we will get into that. You're going to launch a referral program on your website. You're going to host an interactive webinar and or Q&A session. Case in point right here today. We're going to use analytics to optimize our conversions on the website. And that's sort of a feedback loop into all these other points. I made it its own strategy. However, it really ties into every single other tactic and strategy because you have an opportunity to measure, right? If you can't measure, you can't improve. And every single touch point along the way, you have the ability to receive data analytics on who clicked on what on your site and how to optimize and reiterate in a newer, better way. Going to then use retargeting and paid media very strategically. And yes, that is the one paid strategy that's involved in all this. I guess I'll say with the juxtaposition is that like Google pay-per-click, Google search, is getting increasingly more expensive. Like HVAC company near me, get your oil change near me. All these keywords are highly competitive and almost out of reach for small business owners because we're talking $30, $40, $50 per click. And a click doesn't mean a sale. even a highly optimized website or landing page, if you have like a 6 or 7% conversion rate, you are doing amazing. And I'd actually like to know some of your secrets. Only because I just industry agnostic, like 5%'s good or great.
Right.
As an agency, we see typically around 4%. Only because we do a lot of other branded type marketing. And I'll get into this about having separate landing pages versus just a single homepage. And a lot of branded marketing sends users with very little intent, or they're way high up in the funnel, meaning they're not buyers at this time, to the website. So it does drop conversion rates that way. But a landing page, specific landing page, should have the higher conversion rate. All right. So away we go. More traffic equals more profits for you, but only when done properly. So this is kind of where Frank had already talked about how important a website and digital presence is for your business. It should be and could be a revenue generating machine. So the question is, how do we get more traffic there?
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah. And this one I can't emphasize enough about strategy jumping. It's something, look, I've done myself. I think we've all done it. We're all guilty of it.
Right.
Pretty much any client I ended up taking on as a marketing strategist, we connected because they had found that multiple strategies were not working in concert with each other. And that's really what I do best. I'm not like the world's best pay-per-click strategist. I'm not the best social media content provider. I'm not the best email marketer, but I'm one of the best at making it all work together. And that's my superpower. So making all of these channels work together is more important than being amazing at any particular one.
I agree with that.
Or the juxtaposition is being really, really, really effing good at one of them. But
it's the other option, right?
This does tie into, I think it's point number 6 about leveraging other people's audiences. Is if you're a really good email marketer, then you don't have to be your face doesn't have to be a social media influencer. What you do, or if you don't want to, right? Pick your one best pillar content format. We talk about this in every single episode of everything we ever do. If you're a good writer, start with writing. We're going to show you how being a good writer, good copywriter, good blogger, commenter, if the power of the pen is your superpower, then you can use that and leverage it and partner with those who put out good video content or good visual media. So number 1, sounds simple, but it is more nuanced than that. Is create amazing, share-worthy content. So yeah, this is really vague and ethereal, is creating awesome content that attracts people. What this really means is no matter what your industry is, you want to establish yourself as a thought leader. And what you want to do is give valuable content that your audience is going to use and take somewhere. This does a few things. One, it's 2025 now. I shouldn't date this. I want to still replay this in 5 years, but I feel like it
could be 2025.
Yeah,
this could be any year.
It could be any year, and it's true. Is people are increasingly tired of being sold to. Every single channel that's out there, every single piece of media we use, every platform is just getting ads thrown at it freaking everywhere. So people are sick of being sold to. All right, you got to build trust. People buy from people. What's the one phrase you use, Frank? Tell, don't sell. I think you've been using that since your on stage days.
Since I was a kid, yes.
Yeah. But and what does that mean to you?
Well, people want to buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And yes, it is a lot of times just a business transaction, but people want to know that you at least care a little bit, like a tiny bit, that you're not just there to throw up over them throw up on them with all your sales pitch. They want to deal with a human being. And it's great, this AI, we've done webinars and presentations, and you and I both love AI and Chat GPT. at the same point, the more technologically advanced this whole internet, I don't want to say enterprise business environment, sphere, world, whatever becomes, the more people crave the touch as well. I think you have to have high tech definitely balanced with high touch in
Mm.
order to build a repeat, loyal tribe, customer base, list, following, whatever you want, whatever word you want to use to describe it.
And it doesn't have to be terribly complicated. It really, so creating this content, it gives it checks off a few boxes. One, it allows you to expose your brand, your business, your value proposition to your ICP, your ideal customer profile, your avatar. Um, so one, it's exposure. Two, it's establishing yourself as a credible, authoritative source. And this really doesn't matter what industry. I mean, you could be like some of the best content that's out there that I see is like even home service providers, home remodelers that just jump on camera and explain what they're doing. And I'll give an example is our friend, our colleague, he's actually a client of mine. He's a tries to buy conversion chemistry every chance he can get, Mr. Glenn Guadalupe. Um,
Our
wow, this
favorite
guy,
customer.
yeah, he's a remodeler, he's an investor, he does home inspections, L&I. One of the coolest things he did recently was just kind of take he wasn't even on the camera. He's a handsome fella, but he was narrating it. It's just showing what termite damage looks like on like joists in a house, right? And that one, it's content, so it puts him at top of mind. Two, is that it establishes himself as an absolute authority, both for like retail home sellers and for investors. Because wow, now this is something I can look for. Maybe I'm not hiring Glenn today. I can look for this myself. However, when I know I need somebody who's in that position, I'm going to refer them to Glenn. All right. And that's my own as running a marketing agency. That's my own sort of advertising. I really don't spend a lot on paid ads. I just kind of tell people what I'm doing and how I do it because we have a certain budget we want to work with for a client. And if it's a type of business that I can point in the right direction and allow them to self-serve, I'm happy to do it. I really am. Two is, it's like, yeah, I can change my own oil, right? But I'm not changing your oil. So even if I teach somebody my strategy for SEO or for Google Ads retargeting, I'm fairly certain that they're not going to go start a business to do that. If they are, hey, good for them. But the reality is now I'm at top of mind. I'm the one that they're going to refer people to when somebody says, wow, how did you do that? Well, I'm going to send you to Jonesy's marketing agency near you.
You mentioned changing oil there, right?
Yeah.
So I had this new Toyota coming in that I told you about.
Mhm.
First thing I did was get on YouTube and look to see how to change the oil. Can I get it under there, or do I need a lift and have to take it to my mechanic? There's 5 or 10 different tutorials from auto parts stores, oil filter manufacturers, etc. And they just show you how to change the oil. Here's how you reach it. The filter's got a different kind of gasket I found out and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And of course, it turns out that it's the best video is from the auto parts store that I already buy from typically because they're close and they're good and the staff is knowledgeable. So even though I'm already buying from them, that just reaffirmed and reassured me that I'm in the right place with the right company when
Sure.
I go to spend my money. So something as stupid and simple as changing your car's oil. Me personally, I don't trust going like Jiffy Lube or anything like that or Walmart. I hear too many stories about people forgetting to put oil in, forgetting to put the drain plug in, etc. So Jonesy, let's talk about these questions here when we're creating content. What are some important things here that we need to keep in mind?
Well, the best thing you can do is have a brand and avatar worksheet kind of on hands at all time that asks who your audience is, what are the problems you serve, how do you do it differently, and then reverse engineer your content based on that. And I'm talking where are they located, what we I guess psychographics and demographics are a little out of scope for this presentation, but it's something we always want to keep in mind for our brand and targeting worksheet. which can be found. We have a free one on conversionchemistry.com. So if you're not even a free member, go sign up and get some of our free resources. It will actually answer these questions for you or help you answer these questions. And these are all qualitative answers. We say you only have to be 10% better or 10% different than a competitor in order to stand out. And these questions absolutely address that. I like sometimes being 10% different. I do, this is a personal philosophy of mine, is being of an abundance mindset, and other agencies around me, I actually collaborate with a lot of them because we have different industries that we work with. And that way we can refer to each other and be better for our clients in particular industries than the other one. That kind of harkens back to, master one thing before you try to do everything. So
Yeah.
why are you better for this subset of customers? And really, drill down a couple levels. Where are they located? What are their demographics, their age, their gender, life stage? And then you can get into some psychographics. What are their values? What life stage are they in? What are their interests? What are their affinities? Right? Are they baseball fans or hockey fans? And that can be a distinguishing factor when you're talking about audience segmentation. And this is true. It starts with the content. I'm seeing all these comments in the thread here about content is king from Dylan Lee. Facts tell, stories sell from George Bruno, and oil videos must be slick presentations from Mandavon, Waka Waka.
Yeah, who's that from? Exactly. There's one in every crowd.
Yep.
Yeah.
Strategy number 2. All right, simple. You got the content now. You got to share it. Right. Share it at multiple times, which doesn't mean spam. Okay. That way, the algorithm will punish you. This is pretty much platform, not platform specific. Posting too much is going to basically destroy your reach.
What do you mean by it? What do you mean by that? Because I think people might not understand that, Jonesy.
All right. So, I've seen where people post once an hour, every hour for an entire day, and get 3 likes on all 20 pieces of content that they dropped in aggregate.
I have a client. It's funny you say that, because literally yesterday, I won't say what year and I won't say what day of the week even this was made, because it's all evergreen, but the dude is putting these hour-long videos out there. First of all, he's getting 3 or 4 views. And the second thing is, if he's putting everything out there and posting it is important and this, that, and the other thing, none of it is important, because who the hell has time to go through 10 or 15 videos, posts, tweets, whatever, from somebody in a day? Like, the world would have to be ending for anybody to have that kind of time to put into one person's videos or one person's channel. The other thing I'll say real quick is, I always teach cognitive dissonance or pattern interrupt. When you're thinking of competition and what you can say that's 10% different, you just need to think of a pattern interrupt. And boy, I could teach for an hour on that, Jones. I won't hear, but you have to say, what can I say or do that'll just, it's almost like somebody's pedaling by. You stick a little stick in their spokes, not that they fall off the bike, but they go, whoa, what's up with that? Or, whoa, here's something different or something new. That's your goal in almost everything you do, is to create a little something. And again, I'm going to leave it at that. We could do a whole thing on that, Jonesy.
Yeah. So let me give an example. We'll do it live, right? Of course, now I got to figure out how to do this. All right, now maybe I'll do it later. All right. So what we had done for one of our clients is called a PURL, PURL type of marketing, which basically just takes their first name, merge tag from an email list, and then when the landing page pops up, it splatters their name on it, so it looks like it's a personalized landing page for them, which is really cool. It's pattern disrupting, certainly.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect that because you've never seen it. You never would have saw it before. It's like when Flash came out, 20 years ago. It was like, oh my God, everybody had to get Flash because it was so new. Now you don't see Flash anywhere.
No, it's deprecated. Yeah, it's absolutely.
Yeah, it worked for a while. Yeah.
So we can go back and say, what content to post on what platforms and how to be different about it. One is you're going to want to pick your platforms. All right. Not every business is best suited on every single platform. I don't see a lot of local businesses outside of those in media and news on X, formerly Twitter. And I'm going to lump in Blue Sky and Threads with that because they're very similar in their type of format. It's microblogging is what it is. Short and potent messages, typically attention grabbing, clickbaity in a way. It's meant to get engagement and then send you to somewhere else to a larger piece of content. So it's there's some tried and true, and then some you may want to experiment depending on your business type. Facebook is still, even though it's ancient, it's still among the biggest, and it's still the most community-driven platform as far as size and scope goes. All right. It's got the groups, it's got pages, so it serves businesses and individuals. The really important tactic to remember is, and I don't think it was ever publicly shared, but it was just through experimentation and validation, is don't post a link in your main post, but rather tell them to go to your comments or tell them to go to your page, which then has a link in it. Because otherwise the algorithm would suppress your reach by posting a link directly in a first post. But now you've got a lot of these groups, these local communities, local business groups, niche communities for, I don't care if you're into crocheting, large communities out there that often periodically or even regularly, weekly, daily, ask you to post a promotion, which you can do so. But it still doesn't mean spam. Give something with it. Don't just say, here I am. Don't just say, I buy houses. Don't just say, I paint walls. Don't just say, I do HVAC. Give them, I'm the HVAC person who XYZ. And give a little bit of value every time. It's really not that hard. Just, come up with your little elevator pitch and make sure that that's involved in every piece of content.
Can I just point one thing out, Jonesy?
Mm-hmm.
Harkening back to one of our other presentations with AI, Chat GPT, Claude, and all that stuff, you can literally, if you're stuck and you have no idea how to do this, like if you're sitting there going, "Oh, great, Jonesy, great, Frank, all this is good, but where the heck do I start?" AI is your best friend, man. Your very best friend.
Fire Your Boss episode 32. We actually take a deep dive into ideation using a branded and custom chatbot. So thanks for bringing that up, Frank. Perfect tie-in.
You're welcome, Jonesy. I love you.
And 20 years from now, when we're on Fire Your Boss episode 5,000, number 32 will still be important.
Very much so. Unless our robot overlords become sentient and take us over.
They may take us over, but we'll be the favorite pets because we always use our pleases and thank you with using AI every time.
It was a good idea to start that in the beginning. You never know what's going to happen, right? Know.
Yeah, it cost me nothing to say please and thank you. All right, back to the show. Instagram is still best for visual content right now. At the time of this presentation, short form video and reels are the number one feeder for that algo. Although I'm just reading more and more that people are pushing for more visual, like photographic content, which is what Instagram was created for in the first place, was photographic content, carousels and whatnot. But as we're, playing this webinar, there's potential litigation surrounding TikTok. So we'll see how all that plays out. Because that Meta and Zuck are, if TikTok gets banned and you can't download it anymore, then they're going to take advantage of that situation. They meaning Meta. To make Instagram replace TikTok. So there we go. Same thing, real bite-sized information, 45 to 60 seconds work best. And stories, of course, which get the actually interesting stories right now are getting higher engagement within audience. And depending on the content and the description and hashtags, the reels are, they're on the For Your page or the Explore page, are actually, you're getting more hits outside of your audience. So it's a really interesting time to be watching all this. YouTube, two different forms there. You got your long form and your short form. Short form basically being shorts. Same thing as a reel, same thing as a TikTok video as far as format's concerned. YouTube, interestingly, is the second largest search engine second only to its older sibling, Google. So you do have an SEO opportunity in there. Frank, you were talking about the oil change videos and how-to videos from specific
Right.
brands. That's amazing on pretty much any level to establish authority and give value without overtly advertising and promoting. Similarly, one of the coolest channels I follow is Dip Your Car, dipyourcar.com. It's literally, so it's spray vinyl essentially, and I've done a few of my cars myself. It's completely community driven. I see some ads sometimes, but the guy who runs it, Fonzie, he every day there's a new video of them spraying some car, and they mix the colors and the finishes and stuff like that. It's Dylan Lee in the chat here said communities are going to be very big. That's one example of a brand who ties it all together. They have a community, they have a channel, and then they have a store. That's where they make their money. Pinterest. I don't have a particular expertise in publishing content. I follow and I use a lot. I've only really had one client. They were in apparel, who is pretty big on Pinterest because it's very design and visually driven. So anybody in crafts, in art, it's a good one to align if you have an Etsy page.
Absolutely.
Point being, the right content for the right platform. However, don't be afraid to experiment and cross-post. Why I'm so glad I brought up cross-posting. So here's a little snapshot of our conversion chemistry content planner.
The thing of beauty, I might point out.
We like to simplify things as much as we can.
Yeah.
Starting with one piece of killer pillar content, which is typically what we're doing right now: video, Fire Your Boss with George Bruno, and our newsletter. So 2 video and 1 written. We put all of our effort into that. I personally don't put a lot of effort into reels. It's really not my thing. I don't really get the inspiration to come up and just jump on a reel for a couple, and that's okay. I'm going to tell everybody else that's okay too. For some folks, that is their go-to, and that's awesome. And we can reverse engineer the process, how to get more content out of what you're already doing. So this is a little snapshot of our content calendar. Everything you see here, we pretty much didn't go into this saying, hey, we're going to post a reel. We took our newsletter and created a video out of that, or we take a video like we're showing right now and created multiple reels. And then we plan them out in this tool called publer.io. So I wanted to just share some of the tools that we use both internally with Conversion Chemistry and as a marketing agency. We use our custom chat bot, not to write the content, but to make sure for ideation and to make sure that our content is on brand and consistent. Because we pre-program it with our brand kit and our target audience and our voice. And does what we are talking about, does that match our brand kit, our voice, and our target audience and our goals? If the answer is yes, then we can publish it. If it's no, then we reworkshop it. We use publer.io. We post a link in the chat here. What that does, we use that within my marketing agency to schedule out content like a month out for a client. Thought I had this ready to copy and paste. Let me go publer.io. All right, it's sort of like Buffer, sort of like Hootsuite if you've ever heard of them. It allows you to repost, cross-post, all that good stuff without having to overthink of when and where you're posting. Opus Clip, that's our new favorite one of the moment here.
Oh yeah, that thing is amazing. It really is.
Yeah. So this is where, this is our shortcut here. Opus Clip Pro, Opus Pro. Simply put, we take long form video, upload it, and it through AI generates a bunch of reels and clips and captions them. And not only that, but it allows us to schedule posts directly from that platform. So I don't even have to import it into Publer at that point.
That's pretty wild. And I love this because it takes one video will do the work of 10 basically.
Right.
Is what we're saying here.
And now we have reels popping up on all of our channels that we didn't even technically make.
No, it's crazy.
This could be a reel right now in like 3 days.
It's crazy how the thing just uses AI. There's that AI word again, man.
Right.
To just figure out exactly where your next point is exactly. Because when it makes it doesn't just stop in the middle of a sentence or anything like that. It stops at like the next key point, which is it's pretty wild software. And it's how hard is this to use, Jonesy? I
It's
think
not
it's
at all.
pretty.
If you can point and click, you can use it. And of course, like any tool, the more inputs you give it, the better output you'll get. So you can actually,
Sure.
like, if we want to go repost this, and I making this full self-referential, I want to say I want to talk about republishing content at a low effort. I'm going to type in, pick up all the clips that talk about reposting content, and then Opus will actually generate the clips and the captions based on that. And you can still go back in. If you go back and look at the clip that you produced and you said, "Oh, I wish that other sentence was in there," you can just slide the little bar and extend it further. So you do have some fine granular control over that too. Well, this is Frank's favorite thing of all time here.
Absolutely. Building your email list. This is it's as if you read my mind, because really start building an email list on your website as soon as possible, like literally yesterday, because again, like you said, Jonesy, you can be on YouTube and get knocked off or blocked for no reason. You could have 250,000 viewers one day, subscribers, and the next day their algorithm changes. You are back to square one. The idea is you get them off social media and onto your website as soon as possible. You give them an incentive to do so, because not everybody wants to be emailed to. Like I said before, people don't have time to watch 10 videos from one person a day. That's ridiculous. That's, when you're talking about hacks before, the way I would define a hack is something that works right now, but probably is going to work 6 months from now. And there's probably going to be some blowback, even if it isn't black hat, even gray hat, quote unquote, has blowback. You know what I mean? So,
That's an amazing way to put it, is what's working right now. What's the shortcut right now? But it has to be driven by the evergreen strategies and principles. And
well,
it
yeah.
has to make sense. Yeah.
Well, 15, 20 years ago, when pay-per-click first came out, everybody was setting up these fake sites for like mesothelioma, which is a form of cancer, I think due to asbestos or whatever. And people were getting like $100 a click, but all the website said was, "We are mesothelioma attorneys. We can help you with mesothelioma. If you have mesothelioma, come call us." I mean,
Yeah.
that's crap. There's no value. And as far as giveaways go, like I say, you have to give to get. You can give away a white paper. You can give away an ebook. Ebooks are so easy to make. Adobe PDF, for example, there's downloadable ebook makers. You can give out case studies. You can give away videos, either full length or a series of installments. You can have an email course. You can give away a valuable template, like an Excel, there you go, Excel spreadsheet. That's what I mean to say. Tongue, mouth. Thank you.
So
Premium con.
you're talking about all these examples that people probably already see out in the wild, and have maybe already done. And it's very easy for any business to implement any of these.
Oh yeah, just to repurpose it. Premium content, you can give them a preview. Here's something that people ordinarily pay X amount for, but I'm giving it to you just because I love you as a new subscriber. You can give them a discount on a product or service. And basically what you can do is anything that's valuable enough, the way I would put it, anything that's valuable enough to get people to be willing to give you their email in exchange for it. Really good stuff.
It can be anything, and it's really any industry can do it. That's why at the bottom we talk about product or service discounts. I mean,
Sure.
price sensitivity is always going to get somebody to exchange their information. Get 10% off your first purchase. Sign up for our loyalty program, and every 10 ice cream cones, you get an 11th ice cream cone. That's from our friend who owns the ice cream shop in Easton, PA.
There you go. I know exactly who that is.
Yep.
I wish we knew somebody who had a Dairy Queen franchise, because I could be very friendly and helpful to them.
Yeah, is that right?
Oh God, I love DQ if we even talk about ice cream.
Do you make them? Do you make them do the blizzard test where the spoon's supposed to stick in the when you turn it upside down, the spoon's supposed to stick in and the spoon doesn't fall out?
I don't, but I like a large vanilla with rainbow sprinkles. Thank you very much.
I thought you were from Pennsylvania. You're from Jersey. It's Jimmy's.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy's and sprinkles. That
Yeah.
is the tomato debate of the ice cream world.
Yeah, I guess that's really hyper local to the South PA and Jersey area. But
You're
now
on
we
top of
know.
your game today, Jonesy. You've cracked me up twice in 40 minutes. You cute little nut, you. So, okay. Anyway, another effective way to build your email list is by what? Implementing opt-in forms in various places across your website. Now, there's pros and cons to pop-ups, Jonesy. As you know, there's a lot of pop-up blockers that you can have a perfectly good opt-in with a perfectly good offer, and if it pops up, it can be blocked. So, what do you say about pop-up versus an actual in-page or what have you?
It's going to be industry specific, and it's going to be specific on what your website and landing page is about. So really a newsletter call to action on a newsletter specific page should be at the top. It's also something that we would put at the bottom near a footer of every single page that you want a secondary conversion to be signing up for your newsletter. Put it in the footer, make it in a way that it's not intrusive. And if it does pop up, make it pop up once and then never again. Otherwise,
Right.
you're going to see bounce rate and traffic drop off. So I wanted to see, I don't think I can, let me stop showing this. I want to show an example. Let me go. Great. I want to share an entire screen, I think. Maybe.
Go for it.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So one of my clients, fellow auto group in the Philly area, we have a pop-up on an inventory selection page. This is something we rotate every single month on what the offer is, mostly for pattern disruption. And during different sales cycles of the year, we want to appeal to different types of buyers at times. One of the tried and true ones is a discount. Somebody who's searching, you want them to fill out the information. So that way the sales, internet department, business development department can reach out to that lead at this point. And, we create an urgent effort based on it. Right now, this month, we're promoting trading credits. So the mass appeal to that is to anybody who wants to trade in their car. We're highly targeting previous purchased customers on that. So we have a pop-up. If it says not interested, they click not interested and they go back along their merry way searching for cars. Now, I think I teased the Pearl thing before. So that was when we do a personalized URL. So in short, the email generates there we go. Hey, Jonesy, we want to buy your car.
How cool is that, man?
Yeah, and it's simple. This little merge tag up here is because within my email system, my first name is Jonesy. I can do Frank. Hello. I can do Bruno. Doesn't matter. We can do whatever we want. And same thing, single offer, single landing page. And that's there. There we go. We just tied it all in together. I love it.
That is too cool. That's just so cool because the more personalized you can get, the better. I mean, you don't want to take you don't want to act like you're their best friend the first communication because that comes off as a little
aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive, forward, cliche, whatever. But using her name, I mean, geez, man, that's like, whoa, how'd they do that? That's too cool.
And it's pretty simple. It's pretty old tech, but it's very simple.
Yeah, I'm not easily amused, but I'm impressed by that, I tell you.
And here's all right. So getting them to sign up for an email list is, once they're on the site, that's kind of how you're going to retain them and retarget them. Other tools we use, Bot Penguin and ManyChat. ManyChat's cool because it allows you to build an email-like opt-in and funnel within social media by using keywords and DMs. I may be able to demonstrate that live as well.
Bot Penguin, what a great name, man.
So ManyChat. We'll go to our one of our side pages, which is I'm in incognito mode. That won't work. Shut up, Karen, maybe? Let me give that a whirl. Nope, that's not it. The Karen 007. There we go. Shut up, Karen. That's the shit posting page that Sam Risby and I work on. What am I logged in as? Conversion chemistry. Beautiful. So I assume this still works. I haven't tested it in a while. So we had a post that said, I want you to submit videos to me. I want, there we go. So here's the Shut Up Karen submission contest. Basically, we put in some automated responses to, how does it work? There we go. Describe your Karen encounter. She butt in line with me at Wawa. Oh, please send your email. Okay. Send my fake email address. Go ahead and spam that one. Anyway, there we go. So the contest is, I want you to send me Karen videos, and we're going to pick a winner every month, and we're going to give the winner a prize pack. I just got your email, same as it would be if we were doing email marketing on an opt-in page. Simple as that. ManyChat. You can actually start for absolutely free. It's cool. It's a tool that reconciles social media with traditional email marketing, given a compelling reason. Same thing. I just kind of went through all this is the why.
Right. And thing is, you're going to need an email marketing software to manage all of this. In other words, our personal favorite, Jonesy, who bought us lunch this week, none other than AWeber. And if they haven't bought us lunch by now, there's still time, guys. We still love you. We can be bought. Now, I've been using AWeber since, oh my God, 20 years. AWeber, Constant Contact, I'm familiar with. Jonesy, tell us about the other ones. AWeber to me is sort of the industry standard. I've never had an issue with them. They're great. I don't want to name drop, but I know the owner. I've had him speak at my events, that type of thing. But these other ones, let's go on about them a little bit. What is, I mean, we're not here to review all these, but you mentioned 6 of them.
Yeah,
why do you like some of these others?
I have experience with all these specific use cases for each one. Brevo is my go-to as a marketing agency. Both one we use for transactional email, and just to pull the curtain back, that just basically means it's what powers sending email from my website in a way that ensures deliverability because of all the DNS records, the DKIMs, the DMARCs, the SPFs are all tied in. It's an external service that does that. It allows me to do email marketing the same that AWeber or Active Campaign or Constant Contact would. It's also a basic CRM, but not the best CRM.
I want to congratulate you for getting 43 acronyms and buzzwords in there in one sentence.
Yeah.
CRM and this and that. Very, very impressed.
Yeah, I'm not. Okay, we got Caitlin Rice chiming in. Brevo was a headache for my company. I'm curious to see what your experience is. And that's just case in point is that not every software is a good fit for every single company. Specifically as a CRM, it's very basic, and you can set up stages and pipelines. I don't love it for that reason. So I would set somebody up with Zoho specifically for that, or HubSpot. HubSpot tends to get a little pricey for solopreneurs. Active Campaign, that I found the best use cases within e-commerce, abandoned cart sequences, all that kind of good stuff. Not really for a CRM. Zoho, good modular tool for CRM and email marketing and some landing pages. Okay, Caitlin, you got kicked from it. I've had an account get kicked from it as well. They are really stringent on domain reputation and authority. So I have a main account that I use because it's vetted and we pay a lot of money for it now. But some sub accounts we've set up for businesses, their own standalone accounts, we've gotten them booted too. So I think there's some stringency there. And I definitely understand why you wouldn't love it based on that. Mobex Pro it's very specific for text and email funnels. It's keyword driven. So, hey, text, conversion chemistry to number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then creating funnels based on that. And then Constant Contact, they're kind of like a good all around tool because they've been around for a while. They integrate with pretty much everything. They do the email they're not as powerful as far as customization is concerned as some of the other tools, specifically AWeber. But they also have two-way text marketing built in, and it's good to have. It's good to have. if you're starting something new. I use different text platforms, but if you do want an all-in-one, Constant Contact's very good for that. Guest posting. Ooh, this is a good one. And this goes back a long way. That's one of the oldest SEO type of strategies. It's basically reaching out to somebody and asking if you can post content, blog, piece, editorial within their own website or ecosystem as an authority. It has to be specific. You have to actually be a subject matter or have an opinion on whatever you're talking about. Whether you're a card dipper, whether you're selling edible bouquets, or hockey stick blade wraparounds. All right, I'm gonna tag Caitlin in on this one. You have to know your shit in order to be credible to guest post. And we do have some templates on how to reach out to that. They are in our conversion chemistry resources. The idea is simple as far as you're getting a backlink to your website. So that's an exposure, B, credibility builder, C, it's an actual algorithmically proven SEO optimization tactic. We used to use Haro, Haro, as a means to do this, and they've been recently deprecated, and they formed a new platform called Cision. It's like vision with a C, but that allows reporters to basically put out there, hey, here's information we're looking from subject matter experts on, and then you, as the business owner, content creator, subject matter expert, you then respond to these and say, hey, here's what I can write and here's why, and then in exchange you get a backlink. Again, we have a template for that. You have to stand out. You have to niche down at least 10% in order to reach a reporter. Reporters are good at this. Journalists are very good at this, identifying who is good at what, even if they are not the. That's what a journalist does. Okay, they fact check. They know how to find a good source. Be unique, right? 10% different. 10% niched differently. I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself here on this one.
Well, I mean, those are good points, though.
But then
you talk about posting, Jonesy, just real quick. I don't want to throw you off track because I forget if we mentioned it here or not. But what about things like Podmatch for podcasters and so forth? What do you think of those?
See, and this is where the slide deck messes me up, because that's kind of a way of guest posting, and it kind of brings us into. I want to skip ahead. Just because you brought it up right there. Same thing. And this one ties back in. Participate in online forums. It's in part on social media, specific forums, specific communities. And then you can get into deep as something like Reddit. Reddit is an absolute gold mine for two reasons. One, social listening. You can then use it to ideate and create solutions that feed back into our email marketing, into our content provision, just by figuring out what people are talking about. Answer the Public by Neil Patel. Regardless of what you think of Neil Patel as an SEO expert, he built Answer the Public, and it just allows you to know what's going on. Participate. Give answers. And this is where Reddit is an absolute gold mine for me. Somewhat in a client prospecting tool, but it allows me to then answer questions and solve problems that then, in my mind, I'm able to synthesize a new solution for somebody else who I'm already working with. The rules of these platforms, especially on Reddit, Telegram, Discord, they are very particular. Every forum has its own rules. You want to abide by them. And that also refers back to when you're guest posting, find out, learn what the rules are and adhere to them. Don't be spammy. Don't be cringy. Don't be pushy.
What's what you say? You make some great points here. It's all about adding value to the conversation. You want to answer questions if you know something. You want to give your own thoughts. You can also ask questions. As far as answering questions, Jones, I'll do a truck driver analogy really quick. Mm-hmm. People think they have to know everything before they can participate in a forum or have an answer. But you know what? If I was in Delaware, Ohio, looking to make a delivery to this one place that I went to one time, and I'm at a traffic light, and I say, "Excuse me there, Mr. Jonesy, wearing the clincher hat. How do I get to this warehouse on Railroad Street here?" And you go, "Well, you're in a tractor trailer, so you can't go under that bridge. Go straight make your second left and then a right, and it'll take you right to it. You're an expert in getting me from here to there. I didn't ask you how do I get from Delaware, Ohio to Texas. I didn't ask you what is the history of truck driving or what is the best engine. I didn't ask you anything about anything other than my very specific need right now. And that's all I care about. If you know 10% more than I do about how to get me there, you, my friend, are an expert in my world.
Yep.
So people think they have to know everything about, oh my God, I couldn't possibly speak about fly fishing because I'm not a pro. I couldn't speak about road bicycling, a nice road bike with the clip-ins instead of the pedals and stuff like that, because I only had mine for a year. Well, done. There's people that just bought one yesterday. So you've had yours for a year. What brand worked? Was it Trek? Was it Schwinn? Who was it? Things like that. And again, sometimes you have these list experts and show-offs who dominate the thing, but they don't tend to last very long before they're quashed. Answer questions, ask questions, and contribute. That's the value that only you provide, and it's going to be your words and your voice that you really want to get across.
That's it. And here's Mandelbaum chiming in. What's the old saying? What do you have to know to teach a dog? More than the dog.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Yeah, he's on a leash for a reason. You know what I mean? Although some people pay extra for that, but that's a different story, Jonesy.
Yep, that'll be $10,000, please.
Absolutely.
I want to really highlight this one is before participate first. And we had Mr. Bill Kavanaugh early in the chat say something about give, sell. I think that was his.
It's got a ring to it.
Yeah, give, ask. Yeah, that's basically it. So and make sure that follows the rules as well. I can't stress that enough. All right, here's one of my favorites. Well, they're all my favorites. Collaborate and reference strategically. All right, there's so many ways to accomplish this. Really, it's one, value giving, and two, it's using other people's audiences. I'll give you the perfect example right here. One of the partners we work with is Eric Funny Lawton. See, he's got a pretty good following here, I'd say, right?
Got a couple, sure.
So we give and get together. I help him out as a marketing agency, and in turn, we get to use his audience. I have zero aspiration to ever have 2 million followers on any platform whatsoever. It does not appeal to me. I like to make these videos. I like to write newsletters. Therefore, I will help Eric any way I can, and in exchange, he'll promote us on his channel. Why? I believe Mr. George Bruno is in the same boat. Okay, I don't ever want to have 275 subscribers on YouTube. I don't care. It doesn't appeal to me. It doesn't appeal to me. So we JV'd with Mr. Bruno. He's a member of Conversion Chemistry, and we do the Fire Your Boss podcast with him, fireyourboss.win. And we get massive amounts of exposure with his audience. And in turn, he gets the full benefits of a marketing agency to work with. You can also reach directly out to some influencers, and you'll find that obviously there is a payment threshold with people who are able to command a certain amount of revenue from using their audience as a following. But I'm going to skip ahead. Collabster.com. That's let me write it in the chat. COLLABSTR.com. Okay, that's a way to connect with influencers on pretty much every platform. So you can choose by location, you can choose by category, by niche, by industry, their amount of followers. And here's a trick they don't love you to know is, one, I mean, you can spend $100, which isn't bad for getting some exposure to a new audience without having to create your own. B, if you see that they're a micro influencer and perhaps newer but have a good following, take it off platform and reach out to them directly and see how you can collaborate and see what non-monetary value can be exchanged before you pay them money. I assume Collabster knows people do this. Fine. The benefit of using Collabster, and we've used this as an agency and on behalf of clients, is that it's like an escrow account. It's a mediary. So there's guarantees and safety when you submit money and get deliverables back. So I will vouch for it as an actual medium for connecting with influencers and other creators. Frank, you had mentioned Podmatch.
Yes. And I
Well,
totally threw
there's
you
the
off your
fly.
game for a minute. There it is. There we go. Yes, because I have a client that's starting to use it and he's getting results. So I can vouch for that. That one definitely works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I wish I did it more. I should make time to do it more. But hey, it's something I like doing. All right. That goes way back to slide number 1, the type of content that you should be putting out. I don't want to make reels. Bring me on a podcast for a half hour. Not only do I enjoy that, so it's not work or effort for me. Well, guess what? Now I can drop that into Opus, and now I've
Chop
got
it up.
content for days. One of the ones
Absolutely.
I did early last year was with Mr. Dean Way, the 30-minute. It was a fractional CMO podcast. I think it's got the 30-minute fractional CMO win. Anyway, he does it really well, where he actually provides you with isolated clips of yourself, as well as the podcast in aggregate. So again, it's not only does it expose you to a completely different person's audience, of which maybe some of that crosses over with yours, maybe some of it doesn't. However, it's still organic exposure. And second, it gives you more content to post. The old referral program. Okay. This is one I'm still playing catch up with a lot of our small business clients. Every client, every website should have some sort of referral program. All it has to be is a simple form describing what it is and how it works. It's usually, you get monetization for sending somebody your way, and
Right.
you make it so it's contingent upon sale. Or it can be more complex, like affiliate links, which is where you have like referral codes, tracking, stuff like that. The type of affiliate tracking, stuff that we use on like ClickBank and Warrior Plus and CJ, even within conversion chemistry, that's definitely more complex than a simple website needs. I'll show you a simple form of what we do for a small business client, and literally any client can do this. We'll go back to our friends at Fellow Auto Group. There's a good one. They're like the coup de grace about this. The Fellow 4 referral program. I guess I need to share my screen again, huh?
Yes, please.
There we go. Hey, there we go. Okay. So with this program, all you have to do is refer people to go buy a car. And then when they do, the salesperson directs somebody to fill out this form, and bam, customer buys, you get $200. A more simplified version, let's go with Go Fortify. So he happens to be a hockey player, but he is also a client, Steve Jennings of Fortify IT Solutions. This is basically a way to do some B2B type of referrals. All this is, if you're a business who think you may want to refer people to IT security, maybe you're a PC tech, or maybe you're a web designer, and you don't want to get into security. It's not your ICP. It's not your value. It's not what you're great at. You want to have a referral partner for that. So you send them to Go Fortify or Fortify IT Solutions at gofortify.com. And, you apply to be a partner, and yeah, now you just created a pipeline, and this goes directly to the owner of the company. All right. It's not a complex system. Now you have a pipeline to send referrals. And when someone subscribes to a IT security policy that Mr. Jennings manages, well, congratulations. Now you get paid. And it's conversion based. So it's you only pay out as a provider when somebody buys. So therefore, there's no advertising dollars attached to it. It's literally, the ROI is completely tied to. I lost my slide deck here. The ROI is directly tied to the sale. There's no other cost involved. I got to go back into sharing again. Bear with me here. Hey, there we go. All right. We want to use these UTM codes when we are sending referrals, sending links. That way we can track where traffic is coming from on the back end. It's a little more complex, but it's basically how Google Analytics works. So for example, if we're sending anybody to conversionchemistry.com, I want to make sure I put this little parameter. You typically see this when you are working with paid advertising. And each of these, source, medium, and campaign mean different things. And what that does is on the back end of Google Analytics, show you where traffic's coming from. So it's like a referral URL. All right. Retargeting and paid media. We all know everybody needs multiple touch points now. Remember when it used to be 7 touches to recognize a brand or 7 touches to get a conversion?
The good old days.
It's like 21, 25. It's getting increasingly higher. So retargeting allows you to do that in an automated fashion. Email and text marketing is a form of retargeting that's not paid other than what you're actually paying for your tool to use it. So you want to hit people who have already been on your website, added to the cart. That's when I was talking about constant or active campaign. You can put some contingencies on there. The reason I like retargeting is because it's pennies on the dollar compared to pay-per-click advertising.
Well, you've already generated the lead, right? So, I mean,
well, you've generated interest.
Well, and that's what I mean. But you've generated somebody that's maybe they've gone from suspect to prospect, is what I should say.
Yeah, there's 2 different ways to go about it. One is retargeting people who have already submitted their information as a lead or as an opt-in. The second is before they've de-anonymized, which means that they're still hitting your site, but they haven't filled out the form yet, so they haven't de-anonymized yet.
Is that a word, or did you just make that up?
No, it's all words are made up, sir. But
de-anonymized, I like that.
And you can target these specific audiences both on Google and Facebook and pretty much any ad platform you're using. Even if you're using like CTV or OTT ads, like streaming ads, you can still put, basically it's the pixel. You put the pixel on the site, the pixel tracks users, tracks behaviors, and you're able to retarget programmatically. It's freaking great. And it, like I said, it costs pennies on the dollars compared to acquiring new traffic through pay-per-click. Like we're talking, 8 to, on the higher end, 40 cents a click for retargeting. So a $300 budget goes a long way. And you're hitting people who have already showed interest. That's the key takeaway here. Local media buys. I still feel like this is an underutilized medium. And I just want to show an example of a couple clients we have on one local website in South PA, levittownnail.com. Actually, my buddy Tom, who runs the site, he's actually the facilitator of this. Since I just thought of adding this slide in, he actually got me the analytics really quickly in the past day, so I thank him for that. I've got clients who run 3 very specific type of ads on there. Top position, it's a little more expensive. You're talking $800 a month, but then you get to like lower positions, $250 a month for a local ad. You get massive amounts of exposure. So one of my investor clients, they've got the top spot on that site, and we have a very specific ad. We basically were trying to incentivize creating appointments for making offers on buying a house by giving away a gift card when somebody creates an appointment. This comes down to 32 cents a click. You can't get that on other platforms.
No way.
It's local, and I would say it's medium intent because this incentive here, it's tied to an appointment. It's not tied to a sale. Dan's Lock and Key. He's a locksmith, does remote starts. He has I want to say a medium placement ad, like it's about halfway down the page. 45 cents a click. And this is very specific. He runs a specific promotion. The ROI on this is incredible. I don't have the numbers right now, but we see direct leads coming from this source. And just from a cost perspective, all he has to sell is one of these, and the entire ad is self-liquidated for the month. Everything else is pure profit on top of that. Our friends at Beerorama. This is strictly branding and promotioning. You can't buy online. There's not a whole lot to send people to on the website besides showing the offer. But A, it drives traffic to the website, which then B, increases their visibility online and then drives foot traffic in the store. And we can use device parameters to track, who walked in the store based on who saw the ad. And again, the pay-per-click, way below what you would spend on other platforms. So strategy number 9, where this is kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy right here. That's hosting a live event, hosting a webinar. Anybody can do this. I even see local businesses do this. Fred Fletcher, he's a local guy in Southeast PA. I'm going to be caught with my pants down here. I don't remember the name of his show, but he does go live on a podcast and on the radio where he just talks about cars. And, sure, it creates an audience outside of his target area, but it establishes himself as an absolute professional. So anybody who's online with a international, national, or even local audience can use this. It's probably not going to get you a sale today, but it may tomorrow and may next week. And it also gives you that other piece of content that you can repurpose, right? Very simple. Just choose content that your audience cares about. It's as simple as going back to slide 1 and 2, creating those how-to videos, and you can just do it live and get some Q&A and get some live feedback, like what we're doing right now. I don't mean to gloss over this section, but I mean, that's what this entire webinar is about. So there's less I can talk about it compared to the other slides, but you do want to get feedback based on it, of course, always. Feedback is first-party data, which means that is your best source of refining the next time you do a webinar or a piece of content. And you can do this both through, direct surveys, direct asking questions, or through a tool like Google Analytics. The various platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, have their insights and analytics that just show you who saw it, who saw it when, how long somebody stayed on, when did they click off. We have a little crash course on how to use analytics because it's a pretty deep topic. Some of it's self-explanatory, where users clicked in, where they clicked off, what their journey was. And then some of it gets, pretty intense with how far you drill down. Like I said, it's kind of out of scope for this webinar here, but these are the big 4 of what to monitor. Bounce rate, you want people to stay on your site. If you're seeing that sessions are like seconds, 20
That's
seconds.
a problem. That's a problem right there. We got to fix that.
Yeah, either it's the wrong offer, the wrong audience, the wrong timing, and you have to A/B test your way out of that. So
what's an A/B test, just for people at home that don't know what that is?
You run 2 iterations of a campaign or anything or content, and you track which one performs better against whatever the KPI is. Signups, length on site, conversions. It doesn't matter. You assign a KPI to it, or lower cost per click. And whichever one performs better, you double down on A and you eliminate B.
And then you keep A as your control, right?
Yeah, and you can do this in perpetuity on every level, both with the like with an actual advertising, and then on the backside of your website, you can send them the 2 versions of a landing page, which again, it costs nothing besides time to create a second version of a landing page. conversionchemistry.com/2, and see which one performs better. And you experiment with copy, you experiment with colors, with creative, with messaging. And then you just simply, it's scientific method. You optimize and eliminate your way to the best path possible. I want to show one of the tools we use here. Stop sharing and then share again. Microsoft Clarity.
Yes.
This tool is freaking awesome. So what this does is show me, we'll go over 7 days. All right. What this does is show me heat maps and recordings of what people did within conversion chemistry. So I actually have it connected to Google Analytics. I can see where people landed, whatever. I'll go in real quick on the heat map. View heat map, but now it doesn't want to show it. All right.
It's not right.
Interesting. Well, every tool has
live TV, folks. This is live TV. This is how you know it's live, right, Jonesy?
Yeah.
Hey, look, there's some little blue dots there. We're getting there. We got something. There we go.
very basically shows me where people are clicking. That's all. So then I can see, can I eliminate some clicks? Can I, I want them to click. Obviously, we have members login. That's for people who already, bought and paid, get access. I can make the user journey more conducive to where I want people to go. Then we have recordings. All right, I got to get rid of one of the filters here. Okay. God, this is some Big Brother stuff right here. So it shows, it's literally where you see where people are just kind of messing around the site, live recordings. All right. And I'm really going through this really quickly, but you get to see how users are interacting both from the standpoint of where they came in and where they exited and what they're doing within your site. I know we're getting close on time here, but then you can.
The analogy, sorry, Jonesy. The analogy of that is you have a supermarket or a restaurant. They came in the front door, they looked around your store, or they sat down to eat. What did they buy? What did they touch? What did they order and say no thank you? And then what did they do? When did they walk out the door? Did they finish the whole meal? Did they check out? Or did they just leave without buying anything? That's all that is.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things in the world are heat maps. Man, those things are, it's just incredible. It's insane. You see exactly what your user, your visitor and so forth has done. Now, how hard is that to set up, Jonesy? Like, is it something that's murderous to set up or?
No, you go on clarity.microsoft.com, you create a free account, you grab a analytics code, like a pixel that they generate for you.
Right.
Depending on your website ecosystem, there's different places where to put it. And, just tap in with us. We can help you out with that. Same as doing a pixel from Facebook or Google Analytics tag. It's just code on your site that runs. And that's it. You give it about a day for everything to connect. And then, the more data that comes in, the better. I did a quick AI summary of recordings here, which it was 30 days of the entire site. So it's not going to be very specific. I can select different segments. I can say, all right, I want this to be logged in users. So they clicked login. Okay. Whatever. So I can separate members from new users.
Right.
So it says, hey, they explored around the site and they started a course from my courses. Some users experienced long page load times. So that was telling to us. We actually upgraded the server about 2 weeks ago. That's also, I don't want to say it's a given, but it's something that we keep in mind when we have landing pages that are separate from the core functions of the site. So conversion chemistry, it's got courses. We have our members log in, and it's very, very content heavy. So naturally, that's going to have a little bit longer load time. It's more resource heavy than I want my landing page to be, right? So if I know that this long load time is with logged in members, then I can optimize there. But then if my landing page has quick load times, then I know there's not necessarily a problem. It's very intense. I could probably spend 3 hours on this right now. But that's when, for example, we know lots of people are clicking on our site, but I'm not getting conversions. We know we need to look in with this system and make optimizations on the page itself.
And thank you for showing. I think that's one out of a very important presentation. It was one of the most important things I think we can put across to people.
Mm-hmm. So this is where everything ties back together. It should be self-referential. Our strategy is basically our newsletter becomes a blog, self-referential. Our blog ends up sometimes driving topics like a webinar here. We take a 30-minute episode of the Fire Your Boss podcast. We turn that into his newsletter, which refers to the podcast. We have a blog, which refers to the podcast. We take that 30-minute segment, upload it to Opus Clip, create 15 different clips that then refers back to the main piece of content on the website. And that's how you get more website traffic today.
And only one of those was paid, like you said, which is pretty impressive. So
right.
You can get 90% there and basically have the business be self-funding by the time that you get to the paid stuff is what we're also saying here.
You can. So the reason I always suggest retargeting ads first is that they are typically self-liquidating because you're going to it at the worst when it's set up properly. retarget people who have already showed interest in your business. Therefore, when they convert, it'll pay for an ad set for an entire month.
Exactly.
Every webinar should have a call to action after it, right, Frank?
Yes. For example, for this one, what
We
should
want-
people do next if they want
We
us?
want you, if you're not already a pro level member, we want you to go to conversionchemistry.com and at least start with the essentials. That's a free account. You'll get 10 courses, basics of digital marketing. You'll get some free SEO tips on stuff we talked about today in a worksheet. You're going to get the brand building worksheet, which helps you answer the questions that we asked in the first couple slides about what content to make and who to target it. It's the basic stuff, but it gives you a glimpse at what the pro level members are doing and what we do as a marketing agency. So conversionchemistry.com, get access, sign up today. You will not regret that. We also would like to invite you for a one-time complimentary pass to our mastermind. This is for pro level members only, but everybody gets a bite. So if you go to, I'll type it in here, conversionchemistry.com/empower guest, or you can just follow the pathway right from our main landing page. You'll get to sign up for a free mastermind session. And we do a number of things in there. We show the current tips, the stuff that's working now. We bring our members on for various spotlights and hot seats to overcome where they're stuck in now, or check in with where they're at a various project. And we have a framework that we apply to allow them to A, get unstuck, or B, give them the next 5 best steps they can take in order to level up. And I'm borrowing Dylan Lee's level up phrase right there because he's one of our members. And that's what we do. It's really for a multipreneur mindset, but I would encourage every small business owner to even join us at least once. What else you got, Frank?
I think that the stuff, and I'll say this as impartially as I can, the stuff that we give away in our free material is as good and oftentimes better than a lot of the paid stuff that's out there. So if you guys are looking at this now, you're like, oh, conversion chemistry, just another thing. No, I don't think so. This is our life's work, the two of us, we put into this thing. And if you need any kind of help, guidance, or advice, generating your traffic, keeping your traffic, selling to your traffic, to your audience and your brand management and so forth, conversionchemistry.com is the place to go.
Yeah, and I don't like to throw shade at other people out there doing their own thing, but the gurus, just because you have a really shiny offer and high visibility online presence doesn't exactly mean you know what you're talking about. I run a marketing agency. I run a real estate investment company. I'm running Conversion Chemistry, which is, in part also mentorship. Frank's been doing internet marketing for 30 years. He runs a real estate investing company. Hannah Jesse is the business doctor. She runs a business consulting company. George Bruno, another multipreneur who, he's a content producer. He's a coach. He's got his a master's degree for counseling. Another multipreneur. So we all have multiple businesses that are successful. And that's why we do this, because we believe there is room for everybody to win.
Thus the fire your boss win.
That's it. So if you're not part of us, we want you to join. We want you to win. Keep fit, stay sharp, make good decisions. Thanks for watching. Our pro level members will receive this stream in perpetuity. Anybody who's not, you're going to want to become a pro level member. But we're going to leave this up on the public display for about a week or so. But after that, it's gone. That's why you need to join.
Absolutely. And you can see just by some of the comments in the chat how people have valued and benefited by our material. And we're continually adding, like, I won't say the year, the date, the month, the week, or the time, but 2 weeks from now, we're coming out with another one, Jonesy. And what is our follow-up to this going to be about?
I'm sorry, what is the follow-up going to be?
Well, 2 weeks from now, my gig.
What, building your tribe?
Yes,
well,
exactly.
Why do I have to talk about it? It's your presentation.
Well, yeah. Well, I was trying to get you to, well, never mind. Yes, 2 weeks from now, I will be speaking in great detail about how to build your own tribe, how to build following, how to be an influencer. And it's got several different definitions. We're going to explore all of them 2 weeks for today. Again, that is access via the paid membership. All we ask is a modest fee to help keep the lights on here so that we can give you all the combined, 55, 60 years of knowledge that we have together. And that's just including you and I. That's not including Hannah or George either, I should point out. So it's pretty wild stuff we have here. And thank you, everybody, for being here today. And again, if you're not a paid member, just try it. You'll like it.
Yeah. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Excellent.
Adios.
Bye, everybody.